Greetings and salutations, my operators, and welcome back to Fate Grand Order Lost Spell number 6, Avalon LaFay. Last time we learned that Bargus has become the Calamity, the Black Calamity, or Calamity of the Beast. Aurora... Wait, did we learn anything about Aurora? No. No, we just went to Manchester to save who we could, which everyone died by the time we got there. We went to the pit and saw Cyrano's walk out of it and learned that he has many hands. Koinskaya saved us, but was cursed as a result, and she has left this lost belt to go back to her base. What else happened? Yeah. Basically, everyone in Britain is dead. Except for Salisbury, I think. They were like alluding to something horrible happening to Salisbury, but I don't think it happened yet. But every other civilian is dead. So, yeah, section 27. Whoops, I never changed this. That was my bad. I thought I changed it before last time I went in the stream. Anyways, let's continue on to section 27, Time of Creation. Oh right, Merlin came. Totally forgot about that. Now then, I believe greetings are in order. Good day, Chaldeans. I'm the amazing Merlin the Great. I've actually been free for some time now, ever since Morgan was killed and her garden disappeared. Sorry for getting here so late. I needed some extra time to get everything ready. Foo foo! Is that you, Cathplug? No fair staying behind Chaldea without me. I'm sorry, Merlin. That was just Senpai's phone impression. Is that thing in Chaldea now? Who said that could be a thing? Oh. Whoops. Sorry about that. I'm still a little shaky. I'm not exaggerating when I say this feels like a waking dream for me. You see, I'm not actually there with you. What you're seeing right now is an illusion. That also means I can only hear your voices. I can't see what either you or Mash look like right now, Baron Draco. So I'm afraid our joyful reunion will have to wait a little longer. But don't worry, I'll get to see your grown-up faces in just a few hours. I'll be waiting for you at the entrance to Avalon, making sure I look nice and respectable. Merlin? You're Merlin? That's me. Is that the child of prophecy speaking? Sorry to surprise you like this. I know we have a lot to catch up on, but I'm afraid our private conversation will have to wait until things are somewhat less intense. Let's see, I believe Mr. Gordolf is Chaldea's current commander, yes? Is he there now too? Yes, I mean, I am. This is Gordolf Musk speaking. You're Merlin, are you? I won't bother asking why you're just showing up now. You're right that we have more pressing matters than you barging in. What I want to know is what you meant when you said there's still hope. Nice. You pack a lot of bluster into that voice. It seems you're pretty much the exact opposite of that prior acting commander. But I digress. When I said there's still hope, I meant there is still a way to stop this collapse. Let me cut to the chase. I'd like you to send the Fairy of Paradise back here right away. Ultra, you've been hearing Avalon calling to you ever since you finished ringing the bells, right? It's time for you to fulfill your duty as the Fairy of Paradise. Once you have, it is possible to erase the singularity and defeat Ceranos. There's a way to fix this hopeless situation somewhere in paradise? But I'm not qualified to. Qualifications, smalifications. Well, none of that matters. Ceranos' curse will weaken once the Fairy of Paradise who rang the bells of pilgrimage returns to paradise. Won't get rid of it entirely, but it'll stop it from getting stronger. The god of wisdom who pawned this power off on me confirmed that as much. He might be from a different mythology, but he knows what he's talking about here. Isn't that right, Ambrosius? My job is to get Altria to paradise, by hook or by crook. As long as she's rung the bells of pilgrimage, it doesn't even matter if she's still alive. Right, of course. I should have known that's how things would go. Grimir? Why would you say something like that? So, I've actually kind of known about it all along. I could see why Grimir was here the whole time too. That's especially for the worst case scenario, Grimir. We're nowhere near that point now. She's in the best possible condition right now. I can't see it, I can sense it. I have no doubt that the Fairy of Paradise, the Avalon Lefay, will fulfill her duty of her own volition. Even if someone convinces her this is ridiculous. And we should all just give up and enjoy the time we have left. Besides, you all have no choice but to come to Avalon. There's a spirit cavern that leads to this planet's inner sea from the corpse of Avalon, the border dragon that sank into the dark bog. Now the burden has begun to collapse. That path should be open again. All you need to do is go splunking for 1 hour. That said, we're still talking about the largest holy ground in the Magecraft world. It won't just let anyone in. But it should open for Baron Draco as a representative of humanity, matched as the Knight of the Round Table, the Fairy of Paradise, and I guess there's room for her attendant Muramasa as well. The rest of you will have to wait there until they get back. Well, Gordolf, what would you have us do? What else could we possibly do? Captain, set a course for the Dark Bog at once. That was in the Lake District, right? Do you know the coordinates, technical advisor?
Sure do. That part won't be a problem. But apparently, the only ones who can enter this, spirit cavern are the 4 Merlin specified. That's not a lot of fighters for a trip as potentially dangerous as this. And that's not even mentioning how much I wanted to see this for myself. But it looks like we don't have any other choice but to send them off and trust things will work out. Are you ready to go, Bear Draco?
Yeah, but are you alright, Altria?
I think I'll be fine. Besides, I'd just end up fighting with Grimir if I said no. And you know, thinking about it some more, I'm actually kind of excited. This will basically be my first time visiting home.
Understood. I'll update our strategy to include Merlin's instructions. Bear Draco, Mash, Altria, Senji Muramasa. You 4 will make your way through the Spirit Cavern and head for the planet's inner sea, the paradise of Avalon. The Stormboarder will remain on station above the Lake District. Captain Nemo and Da Vinci will focus on piloting the border. If anything should try to attack us, Grimir and I will fend them off. Wait, please. This is all new and unfamiliar to me, so I doubt I'll be of much help. But Britain is my home. It's only right I should take the part in any battle we may face.
Huh? Absolutely not. If anything, you should be resting right now. You're in no shape to be fighting anymore, right? Your only job now is to get the treatment you need and recuperate until you're back to your old self. That's an order from the Child of Prophecy, got it? If you even think about defying me on this, I'll completely abandon my duty. Is that clear?
Yes, Child Prophecy. I'll follow your orders. I have to say, though, I never thought I'd see the day you got seriously mad at me. You've always been one to keep your feelings in check and not make a fuss.
True. Ultra is great at pretending to be a model student. You think? I thought I've always been pretty open and forthcoming with my feelings personally.
Sure, whenever you're just turning your brain off and doing something stupid. The rest of the time, you pretend to be a big old nervous Nelly.
What do you mean? I have never done anything stupid. And what's a nervous Nelly anyway, Muramasa?
Oh, fight against Lancer. Which, there's only one Lancer alive in Camelot, so, or, yeah. Final metal scene fight, I guess.
Like we discussed earlier, we'll be standing by in the storm border in Lake District airspace. We expect the operation to take about 3 hours. That's all the time the ship, no, Britain, has left. We have no way of knowing what will happen in the Spirit Cavern. So please, try to be as careful as you possibly can, Bear Draco. Got it. Entering the Spirit Cavern inside Albion now. That felt different from the war mirror that sent me to the past in Norwich. Does this mean we're inside Albion's Spirit Cavern now? Can we still contact Kalia? No, we can't. We're cut off now, just as Da Vinci protected. Gathering core and data now. 10, 20, 40, 80, 80. Master, you're not going to believe this, but it looks like we're 80 kilometers below ground now.
Damn, that's even deeper than the pit. A lot deeper. Are we even sure this is underground? It's completely pitch dark, and it doesn't even feel like I'm standing on anything. You're not wrong. This world is in a whole other layer, another dimension, to put simply. You were just able to bypass all the ground in the way thanks to Albion. But be warned that it goes much deeper. In proper human history, the 80-kilometer mark is where Albion gave up the ghost. But in this lost belt, Albion managed to make a route all the way to Avalon. Unfortunately, the path wasn't wide enough for Albion to get through, so they still died on the surface. You mean there's a spirit cavern like this in proper human history too? That's right. Though over there is known as the spiritual tomb. In proper human history, the spiritual tomb of Albion ends at the 80-kilometer mark. Beyond that is a world known as the Fairy Realm, which no human can enter. But since the British Lost Belt is all this world's fairy realm, there are no such restrictions here. So we can keep going down as far as we like. In real world distance, you're starting at the 400-kilometer mark, and going further down to the Beyond D layer, 2,700 kilometers away. Oh. That is where you'll find your destination, the planet's inner sea. Wait, so we're 80 kilometers below ground now, and our destination is 2,700 kilometers below ground? How the hell can we cover that kind of distance? Simple. You take a shortcut. When I said it'd take an hour, I wasn't basing that on how fast you travel. I meant that's how long it'd take, period. I'll use a series of transit time reduction spells to bring you all to your destination. Anyway, this must be pretty dull for you. How about we turn on the lights? Ooh, wow. Whoa! It's a cave now? So, what do you think? Doesn't this feel more like a cavern? No, go on. Keep moving. The transit time reduction I mentioned is kicking in with every step you take. This place is Earth's memory. Well, more like a space made of pure information, really. The idea is to skip past all the vague, hazy memories and get you straight to your destination.
That should be a huge help, but is that Merlin?
Third time she's asked. So, finally showing us what you really look like? Is something wrong? Oh, I see. Struck dumb by my true glory. I get. Very well, here. Heap your praises upon me. You can even worship me if you like, Murmasa. It's been a long time since I've shown up, after all. I need to leave as strong an impression as possible, given the short time I have. Well, I'm not gonna be the one to tell them. This is hilarious.
Good point. We probably shouldn't pry too deeply into this. More importantly, Senpai, that mirror over there.
Yeah, it's the same as the one in Londinium. Oh, are you seeing the priestess's memories projected there? Perfect. I'll take the hour you'll be traveling to tell you how this all began. This is the story of the British Lost Bell's genesis, and of what precisely the Fairy of Paradise's mission entails. It became ocean at the end. There was ocean at the beginning. After the shooting star passed, the land all ran into the rivers. Long, long ago, as far back as time can go, 6 fairies went outside to find the world had become an ocean. This is awful, they thought. How terrible our world has become. Then a large shadow rose up from the ocean. It belonged to a giant fluffy creature. On its shoulder stood one of the animals the fairies believed was gone. The 6 fairies and the gods soon became friends. It wasn't easy living on the ocean. There was nowhere to go and nothing to do. But the god made things better for the 6 fairies by sheltering them from the waves. The ocean without waves is nice, but we still miss having land. So the 6 fairies offered their god their joy. And they offered their god their wish. Then they offered the god himself. And so, the fairies' wish was granted. Then, after their rejoicing ended, they tricked the god into drinking poison wine, and he died. And so, the fairies acquired the god's body. They made the body into land on which they could live. They were grateful too, to be able to make use of the crying, screaming animal the dead god left behind. She was their only human, but one simply wasn't enough. So, being very careful not to kill her, they cut her to pieces. They cast a spell on her to make sure she wouldn't die, no matter what they did, and they used every last piece of her. Thus did the Isle of Britain come into being. Thus did the great mistake begin. May the first 6 fairies find salvation. May the first 6 fairies be cursed for all time. And there you have it. You may have heard it before, but that's the story of Britain's creation. Any questions? That's not how I remember it. Indeed, the first 6 fairies, the progenitors of the 6 clans, killed Ceranos. The pit you saw on the surface is Ceranos' grave, and the curse spilling out of it, even as we speak, is his rage.
But why would the fairies do such a thing?
He was in their way. This all happened 14,000 years ago. When the 6 fairies came out from paradise and onto the surface, Earth was already covered in a sea of nothingness. The one who ended up helping the 6 stranded fairies, was a Celtic beast god, who had come up to the surface just like they had. A god who would later come to be known as Ceranos. Ceranos and his priestess, the lone human who had managed to survive just like the fairies had, both did their best to protect the fairies. At first, the fairies were grateful for the help. But the sea of nothingness never changed. No matter how much time passed, no land appeared. The fairies blamed Ceranos for that. They thought he just wasn't strong enough. What's more, they didn't particularly like his priestess. She was constantly telling them to sort themselves out and consider the consequences of their actions. Eventually, the fairies couldn't take it anymore and decided to deal with Ceranos permanently. They figured that since they didn't have any land to stand on, they could find a substitute. And since Ceranos was so big, they thought his body could serve as just as fine as a small island. But of course, Ceranos was a god. They couldn't kill him easily, so they came up with a plan. And they held a festival. They told Ceranos they were holding a festival in his honor to worship him, and held a banquet with lots of wine. Ceranos was delighted that he was being celebrated for being the fairies' first official god. He probably figured they were trying to change their thoughtless ways. And so, against his priestess's wishes, Ceranos attended the banquet and was poisoned to death when he drank their wine. Some rejoicing that turned out to be. What about the priestess? What happened to her? The fairies used her as the foundation, no, the base ingredient, for the humans that came later. The truth is, every human in the British Lost Belt is an inferior copy of the priestess who was killed during Britain's genesis. At any rate, as A-Ray, the 6 fairies went on to create their own stone and forest children and grow their clans. As time passed, they transformed once more. They transformed more and more of Ceranos' body into land. But after 100 years, things stopped going quite so well for the fairies. Their children kept dying, turning into fallen trees, adrift on the sea. New generations kept being born, so the number of fairies never decreased. And thanks to the humans who had been copied from the priestess's cells, Britain slowly developed into a civilization. With civilization came new societal rules. The fairies made new types of fairies, and their forests flourished like never before. But they also kept dying for no reason whatsoever. Eventually, the 6 progenitor fairies realized Ceranos' rage was the cause. Even though Ceranos' soul was gone, his body wasn't completely dead. In fact, his heart alone still burned with the fire they used to cremate him. Even in his death, Ceranos' body continued to smolder with anger and curses. He could very well have come back to life at any time. The fairies were so shocked by this that they fled Ceranos' body. Fortunately, this was right around the time their children's corpses were starting to form new ground. And fairy corpses are essentially made from the same stuff as the planet itself. The fallen trees became earth and stone and quickly filled in the sea, almost as if they were trying to cover up the fairies' sins. That's how this lost belt began. That's why this Isle of Britain uses fairy corpses to grow and expand. After several thousand years, the fairies had acquired their very own Britain. But all the while, Ceranos' body was still there. A divine grave that would let no ocean-filling fallen tree near it. An indelible reminder of the fairies' sin. A reminder that rejected their corpses. Eventually, the fallen trees blocked off the ocean's water for good, and Ceranos' body was left behind at the bottom of the sea. That is the true nature of the pit. It is not actually a pit. It is the remains of a patch of dried up ocean.
An island made by killing a god. The fairies' original sin.
It wasn't just Theranos they killed, but the priestess who served him as well. No, she wasn't just killed. She was desecrated and used as a tool for all these 14,000 years. No wonder Theranos was so pissed. I doubt even killing every fairy in Britain would be enough to satisfy him. Although, why'd he come to the surface anyway? Is it kind of narrow-minded to curse the whole damn world just because you got killed? Especially after you went out of your way to get involved with fairies?
That's probably because Ceranos was an envoy of paradise, sent to reprimand the fairies. That was the whole reason he came here, to punish them. I don't think his heart was in it though. Like this mural shows, Ceranos was a very kind god by nature. But the fairies might have found him terrifying simply because he existed. Does that mean the reason the world became a sea of nothingness is...
That's right. That's the point where this lost belt diverged from proper human history, and its greatest mistake. You see, 14,000 years ago was the greatest turning point for all of humanity. Maybe you heard something about the planetary envoy that almost destroyed Earth's past ancient civilization back in Olympus?
Yes, we did. It was a white civilization destroying giant named Sephar, who fell from a shooting star. Sephar wiped out countless pantheons and almost destroyed every civilization on Earth. In the end, it was humans who managed to defeat it, not gods. I heard they did so using divine constructs, weapons made in the planet's inner sea, meant to combat planetary threats. I also heard that the sacred sword Excalibur was the greatest such weapon, and that it was created in Britain. That's right. I just realized that nobody here has ever mentioned it. The very idea that a sacred sword just doesn't exist in this version of Britain. So that must mean...
Excalibur was never made here? That's right. And I'm sure I don't have to tell you what happened as a result. In this what-if world, humanity had never had the means to defeat Sephar. That's why they were wiped out. Is this Cypher? Sephar? Cypher destroyed all the planet's land masses and took them for herself, leaving only a sea of nothingness with a few antiquated aquatic life forms. So why was the sacred sword never made? The reason for that is both exceedingly simple and unsurprising. Its creators slacked off. The A-ray, that is,
the 6 fairies who were supposed to forge it in the planet's inner sea decided it would be okay to take a day off just this once and went off to have fun. It was only once they noticed something had gone wrong with the world and went up to the surface that they realized the consequences of their choices. But they figured there was no changing the past and refused to accept that the world's destruction was their fault. So Ceranos, the one god who had taken shelter in paradise to keep his priestess safe, was sent to reprimand them, and make them atone for their sins. But then the fairies killed Ceranos and his priestess, the last surviving human. At that point, they could no longer return to the planet's inner sea. Only those free of sin may pass, meaning only fairies without sin can go to paradise. It's the same for all Bryn's fairies, as they are all descended from those original 6. None of them can enter the planet's inner sea, and so they continue to suffer on that island of sin to atone. So, a single lapse in judgment ended the world. That's right. It all started with the sacred sword never being made. Eventually, fairies chosen from the planet's inner sea were sent to the surface to correct this mistake. The first one was Vivian, and the second one was you, Caster. Your mission is to have the 6 clans admit to their mistake and inherit the mystic needed to create the sacred sword. The bells of pilgrimage indicate that the clan heads have accepted their sins, and the fairy who rings all of them becomes the sacred sword itself. But as Morgan, Vivian refused to do that. After all, once the sacred sword was made, the very premise on which this lost belt is built would cease to be. I'm sure you learned about this yourself when you rang the bell in Orkney, Caster. And in spite of that, you continue on your path, defeated Morgan, and now you're here with Baron Draco. You must have had to face down so many doubts to come this far. In fact, you may never be entirely free of them. But even so, you're still here, which is why I believe you have what it takes to see this through to the end. Anyway, I know that was a lot of talking, but we're almost at our destination now. The convictions of the last dragon are waiting up ahead, to see if you are all qualified to proceed. Only those free of sin may pass. That sin doesn't refer to the original sin you're born with, or the sins you've committed in your life thus far. It refers to what you're about to do, and what your hearts are resolved to do now. It's your reason for living, your principle for existence and prosperity. The way to the land of hope will only open for those who demonstrate true strength in these regards.
It's gone. Everything on the surface is gone. The sky, the sea, life, everything I've ever seen. My records will never again grow in number. I will never again know new joys. You who would choose the sacred sword's wielder, you who would chant the king's name. If you seek a new world, then leave all traces of the old behind. My name is I am the last dragon, the one who chose to continue flying above the ground instead of returning to the inner sea. If you can overcome these tears, I will offer my heart to the forger of stars.
Well, all my sabers are AoE, so this is not great. Oh wait, who has my other burn stuff? Nope, not her. I thought I had one leveled up, but I was wrong. This should be fine. I hope. We don't have like super strong staying power because, yeah. Okay, increase attack and or defense or crit rate for yourself when attacked. Where are my things again? Okay, I can remove attack up and remove one defense up. Click burn, remove a defense debuff. Okay. This is just a lot of gain crit stars. And remove one defense up. Don't know why I decided to do that, but sure. So that's defense up. Nice. Damn, I don't want to use it now. I remove defense up to get back defense up. Okay, okay, I need to drop Castoria's Star Gen, or Star Gain. I don't think she has any other AoE stuff. That's a heal. That gains her crit stars, but I don't think we should go for it. All in! He still burns, so we still get that 4% damage boost. Alright, how much you do? Wow! Ooh! That went a lot better than I thought it would. Aww. Damn. She's MP next turn. Oh. Oh, she has the MP charge, doesn't she? Oh! Can you finish it? Can you do 20k? Nope. Yeah! Nice.
Ah, I can hear the bells tolling. My heart may have stopped, but yours yet beats strong. Welcome home, Avalon LaFay. May the sound of hope echo into the future.
Is that light from outside? That's right. That's the entrance to the planet's inner sea. This is the land of the young. Tir na Nog, the eternal spring. This is a place many life forms have dreamed of finding. Welcome to an Avalon whose time has come. This is where the journey of the planet's birth end.
So this is Avalon, the planet's inner sea. This is where proper human history's King Arthur is said to have gone after he died. The wind, the atmosphere, everything's so warm and peaceful.
Right? There's no such thing as evil in paradise. It's a separate world that neither influences nor is influenced by the surface, no matter how apocalyptic things may be up there. All there is here is hope. This place is a workshop that weaves together all possibilities that lead this planet and you guys to a happy ending. That being said, these are only that being said, these are still only the remnants of Avalon, a shadow being projected into the British Lost Belt. The tower imprisoning me isn't here. There isn't much mana in the air, and there's no lake where fairies gather. The only thing here is the site of selection. The forge where the 6 fairies were supposed to create the sacred sword.
The site of selection. Is that anything like the stone that contained the sword of selection in the legend of King Arthur? The one that King Arthur found when he was still a squire being raised as Sir Ector's adopted child? The one he pulled the sword of selection from to demonstrate that he was destined to be king?
That's right. It basically signifies the same thing, and my job is to guide you all there. See? There, see that altar up on top of that hill? That's your destination. It's only a stone's throw away. But you will need to pass through a few checkpoints of sorts to reach it. Think of them as Avalon's defense mechanisms. One final test to make sure everything's in order. Everything the Fairy of Paradise has done to date will appear there as obstacles to be overcome. As in, from the day she was born up until now? That's right. You'll be going over a scrapbook of her life, so to speak, and making sure there are no loose ends. It'll be a little journey in its own right. One that starts with a cold, unforgiving winter and ends with a warm, fun spring. Based on how things have gone before, it's safe to say the first obstacle will be the hardest. For many reasons. Bear Draco, your job is to remove those obstacles and help the Fairy of Paradise advance. Don't worry, you'll be going from hardship to good times, so it'll only get easier the closer you get. And just so we're all clear, let me repeat, the Fairy of Paradise's duty is to create the Sacred Sword. By doing so, the British Lost Boat will lose its divergence point, and human history will be stabilized once again. Without its Tree of Emptiness, the British Lost Boat will simply fade away, like all the others. And most importantly, the Sacred Sword's creation will lead directly to the protection of human history. Were this Britain to mix with proper human history, the result would be a world that never had the Sacred Sword. That would close off the route you have to take to defeat the foreign god. Then again, the foreign god can't stop the collapse either, so you'd both be screwed there. Anyway, I think that's everything you need to know. Any questions? But wouldn't that mean... Come on, Bear Draco. Why so glum? It's okay. There's nothing to worry about. I'm still the Child of Prophecy, remember? This is the moment I've been working towards all this time. I rang all the bells so I could come here. Besides, I've known this was my duty since I rang the 4th bell in Orkney. I'd planned to come here alone since Knocknorab was coordinated. So don't worry about anything else, okay? Besides, Katia needs one of those, divine construct things too, right? Then we'd better hurry. I'm going to protect the Britain I grew up in. And you guys are going to take back the world you grew up in. We need to do this to make both those things happen. And now it's time to get to it. That's all. This will be a journey of our end. This will be the end of our journey. I'm lucky my pilgrimage has been so much fun. Now come on, Bear Draco. Let's head to the site of selection. Besides, it's not every day you get to go out. Besides, it's not every day you get to go to Avalon. So let's make the most of it. Just watch my back until it's over, okay?
This sure is a huge flower garden. Couldn't be more different from Britain burning to the ground. So, the fact that it's called Land of the Young must mean there's plenty of food to go around and people have all the time they could want, right? Yeah, that makes sense. There's no war or animosity here. Not much reason to do anything bad if you don't gotta take anything from anyone to have what you need. That's true. When you have everything you need, there's no void for you to fill. That's another way this place is very different from the British Lost Boat, which literally had to be built by filling in the sea with the bodies of dead fairies. Speaking of which, this seems like a good time to tell you about what's going on above ground. The prophecy may have said there are 2 calamities, a red one and a black one. Actually though, there is no limit to the number of calamities. Remember that. New calamities will continue to appear as long as their source remains. The calamities will never go away until Ceranos, the being continually punishing the fairies for their sins, is truly vanquished. Furthermore, thanks to Morgan's hard work, fairies born in the land of the Fae can migrate to proper human history. That means the calamities won't be contained to Britain. They'll spread into and then all across the bleached world until nothing remains of proper human history. It would basically be a smaller scale version of the King of Mages' incineration of humanity. So you guys need to defeat every last one of the calamities before that happens.
I see. Then we can't let Ceranos' curse spread any further. We need to stop his calamities while they're still contained in Britain.
Exactly. The calamity burning down Britain right now is actually the great calamity that was supposed to happen 1,000 years ago. Morgan averted that calamity by passing it on to the Fang Clan fairies. Bargus, the leader of the Black Dogs, she's not the fairy you knew anymore. She's now burning all of Britain as the Black Calamity, the Calamity of the Beast. Bargus. This was all foreseeable. She was born the child of Calamity after all. It was Morgan who sealed that fate away by gifting her a name. She said that as long as Bargus was Gwaine, she would never become a mythical hound. But even that could only go so far. Bargus was already at her limit, even without you guys defeating her. Honestly, it's impressive she lasted as long as she did. This won't be easy to hear, but you need to understand. Once you get back to the surface, you'll have to fight more than just Ceranos. Like I said, we can't afford to let the calamities leave Britain. Letting some fairies migrate to proper human history was a nice idea. Unfortunately, in Bargus' case, that was never an option. As for the other calamity, Ceranos, the one you can fight without having to feel bad or having to feel bad or worry. His soul was shattered 14,000 years ago. Now he's just a corpse that's not quite done dying. That said, he's still a very powerful god. His flesh has grown thick over those thousand millennia to rival Albion's spirit cavern, and his cursed lair is equivalent to 400 kilometers worth of geological stratum. You'll need the God of Wisdom's curse dispelling all the fighting forces. Wait, what? You need the God of Wisdom's curse dispelling all of the fighting forces Chaldea can muster, and a divine construct made especially to combat Ceranos. Even then, you'll only just be able to scrape by. Thinking about it, you also may not stand a chance. And I can't help you either, since I can't leave this place. The best I can do is show you the way. Oh man, I was really hoping to avoid this story ending in total annihilation. So not even you have a plan? After we came all this way? I know, right? If only we had a God Slayer weapon lying around somewhere.
But we do. We have a perfect trump card for taking on Ceranos. In fact, it'll be a piece of cake. Really? But where is that trump card? It's Muramasa.
Say what?
Come on, don't you remember? You told us you could cut any god you come across. In fact, you were bragging about how you cut a gigantic one clean in half in that, Olympus place. So there's no reason you can't do the same here.
And since you didn't do anything noteworthy in Camelot, this will be your chance to clean your name. Hey, yeah! With Muramasa on our side!
Well, sure, if you really want me to, I can try to cut him down.
There, see? He can do it. Just goes to show, it never hurts to ask.
Sheesh. You're finally letting yourself be selfish, and that's the first thing you say? I said I'd try, okay? Don't get your hopes up. Not sure how much I can do against that thing.
Altria?
Aldria!
Master, Ultra just disappeared. Is this one of those checkpoints you mentioned, Merlin?
Yep. This is the first. She's facing her own memories now. And while she's doing that, you guys will need to fight and defeat those. I see. We've got Avalon Wyverns. Close, but no cigar. Now come on, get your head in the game. Those are radical, abstract embodiments of Altria's winter memories. She'll never be able to leave those memories until you defeat them. But they shouldn't pose any major threat to you now that you've come this far. Go on. Give them a good thrashing. I'll fight too, of course. It's been ages since I last showed up, after all. Plus, I've been wanting to see how much stronger you and Mash have grown up. Up close and personal. In person. God damn it. Oh, against Berserkers, so it's not the worst in the world. I imagine it's AoE, so they should be fine. Probably shouldn't have to use that. I probably should have used, like, Prisma. Yeah, it should be fine. Okay, I probably could got away with no, never mind, they have guts. So yeah, this is gonna be annoying. Since they are Berserker, imagine. Hmm. Okay, so what do we got here? Wow, he completely drained our MP, huh? That's annoying. Oh my god. Man, it's real annoying trying to get the MP up. Which one has the most health?
エネルギーイン。美味しいお店紹介してください。しばしお待ちを。夏といえばカレーですので。食べるのにマグマグ。エーテル宇宙の権威をお見せしましょう。早期銀すなわちコスモス。エーテル宇宙しかるの秩序。行くぞ。ツインミニアドディザスター。
Okay, that is concerning. That was a single target. Oh my god. Well, on the bright side, I don't have MPs. That's the thing.
そう金美味です。
星の宇宙物見の楽園の端から君に聞かせよう。罪なき者の通るの
My god, this is so freaking rough. If I knew this was gonna happen, I just brought like all the AoEs. Now don't drain idle, please. I need her NP. Finally. Is it quick? Yeah, it's quick. So Merlin does nothing here.
セットアップ。行くぞ。アクトワン。お待ちかねの。
Should target the highest HP one. They're gonna have guts active, but might as well get rid of the guts first.
月光タイガーすなわちルミナス。有名神なら誰でもハーモニー。ルミノカリバー。
Oh god. Okay, you can get rid of 2, that's nice. I did level 36. What bizarre scaling is this?
セイバークラスでないと真の力は。
Okay.
この道に勝利。総員突撃準備。ええ、いいですね。はい。
She should be able to clear the rest of the guts.
この明かりの星の気分。死を照らす命の証。見るがいい。エクス
Well, that's unfortunate.
退散
Damn it. Is Idle X going yeah?
調子は悪くねえな。やることは変わらねえよ。櫛灘姫を髪に差し、
はい。
神髄解明、完成理念収束、鍛造技法臨界。これが俺のつぶかい村正だ。
Alright, down 2. We should be able to clear this easy. Okay, that was a
ジョー
thing.
ちゃんの面倒も大変だな。なんで前に出たがるのかね。
Why do I feel so disgusted after fighting them? thus not actually all that surprising. Those were Castor's most painful memories, given physical form. We have no way of knowing what they are, but by defeating them, we felt some of the same feelings they inspire in her.
Huh? Where did you all go? You just disappeared on me out of nowhere. I was really worried.
Hey, you disappeared. We've been here fighting off weird Moors and...
Now, Muramasa. All in a good time.
She has ablutions she needs to perform before... she has... ablutions she needs to perform to enter the site of selection, and we have obstacles to remove. We only have 3 more of these to go. Let's try to take them one at a time. Whatever you have to say can wait until after we've reached the site of selection.
So I don't have to do any fighting this time. Sounds good to me. Come on, let's keep going.
I just want to hug this little cinnamon roll. I now understand how everyone's fallen in love with Castoria. Even like beyond a mass perspective. Poor lass has been through so much.
Whenever I close my eyes, this is where I'd be. It didn't matter if I was awake or asleep. I'd still be shivering from the frigid wind. Howling, howling. Strong winds enough to shatter your ears. With nothing to protect me, my body feels cold as ice. Surrounded by pitch darkness, with nothing for warmth, and no hope of escape. That's how I grew up. For me, religion was pure hell. The prophecy was true.
Oh, wait.
The prophecy was true. She will be our salvation. She will be our absolution. She is the savior who washed up on our shore, along with the name Altria. May you grow healthy and strong, to the age of 16. May the Queen's soldiers never find you. Now go on, hurry, 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 hurry. Hurry and greet your 16th birthday. We have complete faith in you, which is why you must give everything you have for us.
A small newborn fairy washed ashore in a boat loaded with all kinds of treasure.
What an incredible stroke of luck! This girl must be the child of prophecy.
What a horrible omen! If the High Queen finds out about her, we'll all be done for! The village fairies' opinions were split right down the middle, but they all agreed on what should be done. At least the child of prophecy should be useful. We'll raise her ourselves until she turns 16. But she's the fairy of paradise, right? I don't like her. I'm sure she's going to mock us. She doesn't deserve a proper house. What do humans do with creatures like that again? I know. They raise them as livestock. We can make her a lovely little stable. The other villages will never find out about her if we say we're raising a horse. We can keep the child of prophecy all for ourselves. The fairies of Tyndagal treated me...
The fairies of Tyndagal treated me as a precious resource. I had almost no magical energy, which made them all worry about me. It's been 400 years since she got here, and she still has barely any magical energy. Poor thing. She may as well be a human. I can't believe she still can't do anything impressive. I'm worried. Will she be able to survive like this? I know. We need to train her. We need to be harder on her, methodical with her. We can't even give her time to sleep. Forgive us, Caster. This is all for your own good. The way you are now, you can't even dream of being the child of prophecy, and we don't have any time for dreams. We really need to have her grow at least a little. You can barely tell her apart from a human. No one would believe she's a child of prophecy like this, not even when she turns 16. Who cares if she can defeat the queen or not? All that matters is that she's valuable. It doesn't matter whether she's the real child of prophecy or not. She just has to look the part so we can get rich. Why else would we bother taking in the fairy of paradise? We just have to make sure she doesn't die. We don't have to worry about her running away. She's much too weak to do that. But the village fairies didn't know that my fey eyes still worked. However much I wished I couldn't, I always saw the true feelings they kept to themselves. Deep down, they all feared and loathed me. The fairies that feared me believed in the child of prophecy with all their hearts, and worked me like a slave. The fairies that loathed me hated the fairy of paradise, and abused me without a second thought. Aside from all that, all anyone felt for me was indifference. I was considered a precious resource, but treated like I wasn't even there. But I couldn't blame them for that. I more or less knew what my duty was. I was to bring salvation to the fairies of Britain, to free them from their suffering, and to save them, in the true sense of the word. Even as a child, I understood that fulfilling my duty would mean the end of Britain as it existed now. I could deal with the slave driving, the abuse, and the disinterest because I knew the reasons behind them, but the sound was too much to bear. Asleep or awake, there was never a time I didn't hear it. Howls of deceit, howls of self-interest, howls of selfishness, howls of envy, the sounds I could never shut out, the sounds of fairies' true feelings. It was enough to make me lose track of where I was, and where I was meant to go. I hear bells ringing. They tell me to go on a pilgrimage to save the fairies. Honestly, this sound depresses me too. I know it's supposed to be an honorable mission, but how in the world am I supposed to save fairies like that? Ha! Yeah! Die! So that's why I'm out in this nearby field again, hard at work on my training. Today is another day of close quarters combat practice with the staff of selection, which arrived with me on my boat as a weapon. I can't use anything like Fey domains, so the only thing I can do with a staff is bop people. Hiya! Hurrah! Rah! Ha! Ha ha! Ha ha! Ha! It was an early afternoon in my 6th year. I had just collapsed from exhaustion. My melee combat training was the only time I had to myself once a villager keeping an eye on me left, figuring I was so weak I wouldn't be able to escape anyway. Huh? Then, just as my voice was trailing off, Gah, that was nasty. The fairies at your place are pretty horrible, you know. You know that? Huh? Did you just talk stuff? No, I'm not the staff selection. I'm just a nosy old busybody. And I just couldn't take how awful Tindako is anymore, or how sickening it is to see you doing everything that he tell you. I just had to say something. I swear, I wasn't planning on getting... Oh wait, it's probably early, isn't it? I swear, I wasn't planning on getting involved.
But now I just don't think I have a choice. Listen up. I'm Merlin. Merlin, the Mage of Flowers. I'm going to be your teacher from now on. Don't forget it.
That was how I met Merlin. Or at least, his voice coming from the staff of selection. That was how I began studying to be a mage. Magecraft? I know about that. Queen Morgan uses that. But what exactly is it? What exactly are you going to teach me?
What do you mean? Magecraft, of course. Merlin Magecraft. Trust me, it's really something.
Oh, well, let me fly like a bird. Like zoom, whoosh, pachoo.
Flying. You like to fly, huh? That's a pretty tall order for your first spell.
You know how to fly? What are you, some kind of quack?
Oh no, I can fly easily. I'm the amazing Merlin. But let's hold off on that one for now. Not even the Wind Clan can fly, after all. The sky is a dragon's domain. Only a few precious upper-class fairies can go there. So for your first spell, let's start with something closer to the home. Something that'll make your life easier. Tell me, is there anything you can use right now that would make you happy?
Well, I guess I'd like it if nighttime was warmer. My house gets really, really cold. It even freezes over in the winter. I actually lost 2 toes last year because of that. I haven't told anyone else though. It's too embarrassing.
Got it. I'll start start getting a lesson ready for you right away. Just give me 2 days to find some teaching materials.
Merlin taught me all sorts of spells. Heating, detection, healing, linguistics, camouflage, lockpicking, stealth attacks, explosives, obstacles. Every time I expressed interest in learning a new spell, he'd say,
"Sorry, I can't today. You'll just have to wait until the next lesson."
And then we'd make a magecraft items together. Those lessons formed the foundation of my Merlin magecraft. Looking back on it, he must have had to change the spells a lot just so I could use them with my tiny pool of magical energy. Say, why do you teach me all this when every British fairy hates me?
Because I'm not a British fairy. Sorry, just kidding. The fact is, you are the fairy of paradise. No matter what the fairies of your village think, eventually, most fairies will come to follow you. When they do, you will need to be the ideal, no. The kind of savior that everyone dreams of. Fantastical savior.
Fantastical.
That's right. You'll need to be a character straight out of a children's story. Everyone has different fantasies. Some want a strong king, some a kind king, some a scary king, and so on. Your job is to be able to be all of those things. You need to inspire hopes and dreams. Or rather, bring them all together. Everything wants something different, so a single name would only get in the way. That's why you need to be a nameless king. Someone who stands at the edge of the world rather than its center. And serve as a beacon of hope for others just by virtue of existing. Glowing starlight, shining with possibilities. That's the kind of king I'd like you to become. The kind that can inspire people from atop castle walls, and no matter the time or place. Can I really be all that? Sure you can. It might be impossible in reality, but anything's possible in fantasy. And people have always had a way of making fantasy become reality. That's why futures we thought we could only dream of eventually stop being dreams.
Merlin was very talkative, and a lot of fun to be around. But that only lasted for a year. A fairy girl saw me laughing in the field and reported me to the village elder, who responded by taking away the staff of selection until I turned 16 and set out on my journey. From then on, every day was more painful than the last. That's the end of my winter memories.
I hate fairies. I hate fairies so much. The only good fairy is the dead fairy, apparently. Alright. So, last time was one wave of AoE. So, let's hope it's the same for all of them? What's Toria's barrier again? Is it like 40? For some reason? No, that was Ruler. Ruler had the weird berry. Right. This should be fine. I'll move her to the end. Well, this isn't too bad. I probably shouldn't chain it, because I feel like I can one-shot them. Yeah, that's right. And then we just face card rest. I don't know what's going on in my chat. He's telling me welcome to the chat room. So like the connection's like all wonky. I'm not really understanding why that's the case. Easy peasy.
This happened when I was 12 years old.
So you're 12 now. Oh wait, that was other. So you're 12 now. You've done well to grow this far. Right. I think it's time I sent you on an errand. I'm a little worried about letting you go alone, but you are certain now that you can use Magecraft. You know where Drift Cape is, yes? There's an Earth Clan fairy living there. I'd like you to bring this to him. Just make sure you're back by nightfall.
Huh? No way. Could that house be? There was no mistaking it. That lone house on top of the cape was an iron-themed park. An artisan workshop like Merlin had told me about. The kind of place at the very top of my bucket list. The kind that couldn't be found in Tintagel. It's a smithy! Whoa, so cool. Whoa, this is amazing. Even I don't know what I was thinking at the time. I couldn't have acted more suspicious if I tried. I probably looked like a burglar. So it was no surprise when...
What are you doing here, girl? Are you trying to get your head split open?
Ah! Our first meeting couldn't have gone worse. His name was Hector. He was a blacksmith of the Earth Clan. He was an eccentric who had been living on the Cape for hundreds of years, and everyone in the village feared him. He was really stubborn and kind of scary looking, but he was a true friend and never once lied to me.
The leather pouch is from Tindico. So you weren't trying to steal my iron? You were bringing me some? So you're not a burglar, eh? So this is from the Tindico Elder? What was that? I can't hear you. Speak up. Enunciate. Louder.
Hector's hearing was poor, so I had to be really loud if I wanted him to hear me. What's more, he hated fairies. Both his inner voice and his heart were dripping with pitch black hatred. He's gonna kill me if I stay here too long. He really is going to split my head open with a hammer. My excitement is about being in a real smithy gone. I decided to leave the Elder's package and beat a hasty retreat. But then...
Wait, let me get a good look at you. You're the child of prophecy, aren't you? I see. It's already been 12 years since Ansels made her prophecy. Get back to your village. This is no place for a young girl. I live out in this backwater so I don't have to see anyone. Don't you ever come here again, got it? I don't have the time to deal with the child of prophecy.
Yes, sir. Sorry for the intrusion. In a panic, I made my way out of his house, just avoiding the hammer he threw my way. I ran from the cape and straight back to the village. My steps were slow and plodding, with even less pep than usual. I came back.
Didn't I tell you to stay away? What are you doing here? Why didn't you listen to me? Is every fairy with that face actually a boar or maybe a bear? Don't touch that. That's processed iron. It'll give any fairy who touches it an awful hot. Looks like you're okay. I see. You might look like a Wind Clan fairy, but you're actually with the Demon Boar Clan.
Of course, there is no such thing as the Demon Boar Clan.
So you're not afraid of iron or the forge, huh? What? You got an interest in them? I see. I see. Back again, are you? Well, I doubt anyone else in that village would want to spend time with me. Your outfit's rubbish. Nice that it has a lot of pockets, but the themes and finish are horrible. Here, give your elder a message for me. Tell him I'll give him a discount if he sends someone to help me.
Really? Hector, does that mean...
Don't call me Hector! It's Grandpa Smithy! Just Grandpa Smithy is fine. You'd better be here every other day to help out. Got that? Ugh, I don't know who taught you how to hold a tool, but you're doing it all wrong. You're going to hurt yourself that way. You gotta learn the fundamentals. can't have you dying in a shop accident and ruining my reputation. If you're really interested in learning what it takes to be a smith, I can teach you. But don't expect me to pay you. If anything, you ought to be paying me for these lessons. I'll put it all on a tab so you can pay me back when you make it big.
And so, I began studying a new field in preparation for my journey as the child of prophecy. Hector was rough and intimidating, but he also excelled at fine craftsmanship and intricate ornamentation. A year after I started helping him, I learned that Hector was famous in certain circles as a master smith. I found out he didn't just take jobs from other villages in southwest Britain. He also occasionally got special orders from big cities like Salisbury, Oxford, and even as far off as Manchester. For example, excuse me, is Sir Hector in? It was the first time a customer had shown up personally at Hector's workshop. I tried to give her a proper welcome so it would reflect well on Hector. Oh, Sir Hector, are you here? I'm Gwaine. I sent you an order some time ago. I don't know if it was intentional, or if she just couldn't hear me, but she ignored me completely.
So you're Gwaine, huh? Never thought I'd see another Tamlin. I see you're a strong one. You ought to be able to handle this armor then. It's all ready to go back in the back room. If it fits alright, I can pack it up for you today. Give me a hand, Austria, and make sure you don't drop it. It ain't cheap.
There's no need for that. If it fits well, I'll just wear it out.
I see. Alright. Go with me then. Austria, you stay here and tidy up.
I heard the clatter of armor being put on in the back room, along with Hector and the fairy's conversation. Apparently, she was an amazing upper-class Fang clan fairy who had just been chosen to become a Tamlin. She was well known in Gloucester's social circles, had impeccable manners, was as strong as she was tall. And she obviously had enough money to buy the silver armor Hector had been working on for the last 4 years. For some reason, I found myself getting angry. This is fantastic work, Sir Hector. I'm grateful you were here to do it.
It was just a fulfilling job. It was a fulfilling job. The only one I've had since I came here.
Really? I would think an artisan of your skill could easily find work anywhere. I know this is rude of me to suggest, but my own city still lacks a sizable smithy. If you think you might be amenable to moving there... Huh? What the hell is she on about? Did you hear that? It almost sounded like a bullfrog. Or maybe a night crow?
Stay out of this, you idiot. Don't you know she's a Tamlin?
But, come on, Grandpa. Who the hell does she think she is? Trying to persuade you to move away. I won't deny I had something of a foul mouth by this point. I blame Merlin for that. Still, I was really pissed, so I really was pissed. So I marched up to the Tamlin and glared at her, hoping it'd make her leave. Oh, you must be Sir Hector's apprentice. I can understand how you feel. I would be sad to part ways with a trusted mentor as well. I am therefore willing to forgive this outburst. But regardless, don't talk to me again until you've grown up some. When you're as tall as I am, it's a little pain in the neck to talk to smaller people. Not that I imagine anyone of your size could ever even begin to understand what it's like. And with that, the Tam Lin up and left. It was clear she had forgotten all about me the moment she stopped speaking to me. Her signature on Ector's order slip didn't say Gwaine, it said Bagus. Some weird curse kept me from reading it, but since I can always tell when someone is lying, I could see through it. I'm going to remember that name. You see if I don't.
Not bad. I ran out of things to teach you in only 4 years. Apprentice or not, you're a fully fledged smith now. Not much we can do about your lack of magical energy, though. How are things with the village fairies? Do they still believe you're the child of prophecy?
Things are the same as ever there. Half the village still doesn't believe I am. Everyone wants to send the child of prophecy on her way, though, so things more or less work out. What about you, Grandpa? Do you really think I'm the child of prophecy?
Why ask me? I couldn't care less about Tentacle. Now go gather some sand from the beach. We need to make a lot of jewelry starting tomorrow. There's a festival coming up in the Cat Sis village soon, and they ordered a bunch of cheap trinkets.
Ector was very good with his hands. In addition to weapons, armor, and household items, he also made jewelry. His workbench was always covered with different kinds of ornaments and accessories. He said they were just cheap trinkets meant to fool children. But for someone like me who only ever had one outfit to call her own, they may as well have been crown jewels. They glittered like stars in the night sky. Red, blue, green, and sometimes even yellow. Apparently, I had a habit of stopping while I was doing and gazing at the barrettes that were all arrayed on the workbench. One day, on my second autumn of helping there, Ector saw me absorbed in them and said,
"If you want, go ahead and take one to keep for reference. I can write it off within the margin of error."
For a smith, the margin of error refers to products that are cracked or broken in the process of making something. Of course, Ector would never make anything defective, but he was kind enough to offer me one anyway, to encourage me. But thanks, but no thanks. If I brought something of my own back, they'd just take it away again. I was thrilled that he offered it to me. I wanted so much to accept it that my vision blurred with tears. But the fairies of Tentacle had proved with the staff of selection that I could never have anything I really cared about. Still, it did help me remember a conversation I'd had when I was younger. It was with Merlin, when I was actually working day and night to try and move things along as fast as I could.
Man, it sucks when things should have disappeared long ago just stick around. Like those narrow-minded fairies who keep trying to control you. Ugh, this is the worst. Everyone in Britain is so awful now. Just kidding. But if that's how you feel, Altria, you should say so. Huh? It's okay to want what you want. You don't have to deny yourself. Now, what is it that you want? Now, what is it you want the most right now? Don't be embarrassed. Just tell me.
I want a spell that can blow an enemy to smithereens. Here, like this.
I see. So you need a tool you can charge with magical energy, and a spell you can use to make the gunpowder explode? This is dangerously close to magical terrorism. Then again, there's no telling when or where the black dogs might come after you. Okay, I'll try putting together a little recipe. Just give me 6 days? Okay? Let's see, I think there was a smith in Norwich who's an expert in this sort of thing.
You're so kind and helpful, Merlin. I bet you've been on a lot of dates, haven't you?
Oh, I don't know about that. I really don't understand much about the whole love business. It's not like food for me. Instead of thinking about my companion, all I think about is what it tastes like. That's kind of why neither fairies nor humans ever had much love for me. But then, once I was suddenly thrust into a role where I had to be romantic, and I ended up being better at it than anyone else. Honestly, I'm more unsure of what it says about me than anyone.
So you don't have a single lover, even though you're the mage of flowers? Aren't you lonely?
Maybe. Though, probably not too much since I didn't realize it until you said something. It's not something I ever worried about. I always knew I'd be forever out of reach. That said, for me, studying magecraft, looking for a way to save Britain, and finding a lover are all basically the same.
What do you mean?
What I mean is, it might be lonesome to look for a star you know doesn't exist, but it's also kind of fun.
Then, on the morning I turned 16, the village fairies all gathered in the town square and told me, "We want proof! Proof that you really are the child of prophecy! That blacksmith who lives on the cliff is the Imperial Guard. You're the only one he's not wary of. You're the only one he trusts. If you're truly the fairy destined to save Britain, then kill him for us. Please, please, we're so anxious. Our every day is filled with fear. Go on, prove you can protect us by taking care of him." That's the end of my autumn memories.
Okay, so this is a time when she kills Hector. So I don't know how rough this is gonna be. I guess the only thing I can do is just use the same team. Boop, bloop, bloop, boop, boop, bloop, boop, boop. Man, I do not drink enough water. God damn it! I knew it was gonna be a single one. Jinx myself. Oh, got that. Nearly double cooked and rolling. Alright, so we got 4% chance to get a crit chain. But if we do, oh boy, that's gonna be fun. Only 150. Gotta rely on the crits. Come on! Damn it. Damn it.
It wasn't meant to be.
My coercion sacrifice. That's Shane.
倒れまステータスアップ倒れません
Man, that Shane sucks because she's not super effective against this. Oh wait, this is Avenger, so it's not. Really? That one crit?
倒します
Well, the bright side has super weak stuff.
神明
いいとも
お任せよ私は最悪の席に立つそれは全ての傷全ての怨恨を癒す我らが故郷権限せよロードキャメロット
So we really need to find out where the hell the Black Barrel is.
そうです
Wow, we're just not getting Artoria Earth cards. That's real
小
annoying.
さな魔物がここには
落ち着いて
星の宇宙に
I mean, I'm glad it like keeps losing stats, but it's still really annoying to do this.
罪なき者のに通るがいいガーデン・オブ・アバロン
Triple I.
はいお任せはい取った切り上げるストライクエ
Alright, then 6 turns. I think our cooldown's off now? Well, except for probably one of the more important ones. I don't even need it. I think I can get away with just doing the Prisma.
それがあなたの決断であればはいいいですねこの明かりの星の気分死を照らす命の証見るがいい
Okay, I was wrong. I was totally wrong.
お望みのままに
Alright, that should finish it.
戦闘終了お役に立てましたか
Alright.
Apparently, the Earth Clan fairy living on the cape used to be one of Queen Morgan's imperial guards for a long time ago. The village fairy's worry was genuine. They really did believe that killing Hector would keep the village safe. So they closed in around me and begged me in all sincerity. Please, kill him! Kill him for us! If you really are the child of prophecy, then kill the Queen's agent for us. It would have been almost impossible to refuse. So like always, I took the easy way out and so... Okay. Okay, I will. I am the child of prophecy after all. I decided to do what they wanted of me, and went off to kill my friend. This is why I said I could never have anything I really cared about. I have to kill him. 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 If I don't kill him, they'll think I'm an imposter, and they'll kill me instead. It was easy to sneak in, since Ector was hard of hearing. He was sleeping on his stone bed, completely defenseless. In my hand, I had a rusty iron knife the fairies had given me. The truth is, it wasn't impossible to refuse. I was just scared. Scared of being called an imposter. Scared of getting beaten for being useless. Scared that my life, so far, might have been for nothing. And so... I got so fed up and angry that I brought the knife down as hard as I could. Oh well, maybe things will work out. I sheathed the now chipped knife and began walking the dark path back to the village. I was practically trembling with fear, but I also knew the village fairies were simple folk. I was almost strangely optimistic that I could get out of this as long as I explained everything. Don't let her fool you. She didn't kill the blacksmith. I was watching the whole time. She didn't do anything to him. She just cut one of his helmets. And that's not all. I know her magecraft is fake, too. It's all just smoke and gunpowder. She's not the child of prophecy. She's not special at all. What did she say? Is that true? She couldn't kill the Imperial Guard. She wouldn't kill one of Morgan's agents. Then she can't be the child of prophecy. I knew it didn't make sense. I tried to run away, but the village fairies were all stronger than me and had more magical energy too. Grab Caster! Grab the liar! Hand her over to the Woodrose's executioners at the child of prophecy's imposter! They caught me in no time and threw me in an underground cell and underground jail. The fairy who accused me was smiling so smugly, so triumphantly. But I wasn't surprised. Whenever she talked to me claiming to be my friend, she was always consumed with envy and doubt. She wasn't a bad person. It was just fairy nature. Even when you know someone is objectively worse off than you are. You just can't help but be jealous when they're treated like they're special. After that, life in the village became very hectic. Where were those executioners? A horrific group of soldiers who went around capturing fairies suspected of being the child of prophecy and taking them to the castle. They were to arrive in Tyndakel in 3 days, and I was to wait for them in my cell until then.
So, you finally showed your true colors. I can't wait to hand you over to the High Queen. I never believed you were the child of prophecy. There's no way a fairy like you could be our savior.
I don't want to hand you over to Woodrose, but everyone else says that's what needs to be done with the imposters. But is it really so important?
It's awful that things have come to this. We were so close. So very close. But then I suppose it was always too much to hope for. This village would have disappeared the year you washed up our shore if you hadn't come along. You and the treasure that was on your boat gave us hope, but now the treasure's all gone. Soon our village will be... Then again, maybe... If we all tell Woodrose you're the genuine oracle, maybe we can still get a sizable reward.
I'm sorry, Caster. I tried to talk the others out of this. I really did. I'm so sad things have turned out this way too. You really did do your best for us. A lot of fairies came to visit me in jail, each of their for their own reasons. The fairies of Tyndakel were divided right down the middle into supporters of the Queen and supporters of the Child of Prophecy. The fact that I was in jail must mean the pro-Queen fairies had gained a numbers advantage. There was no fairies left who could rescue me. But there were some who were willing to look for the well,
Brain, focus.
but there were some who were willing to look for other ways if I escaped.
Oh wow.
But there were some who were willing to look the other way if I escaped, and I figured that was enough. Either way, everything hinged on what would happen in 3 days. I would have one last chance to escape after they let me out of jail, right before they handed me over to the executioners. I made sure to stay in shape so I could run whenever I needed to, and kept a constant eye out for opportunities. You better believe I'm going to escape. I've been trained my whole life to go on this pilgrimage. I can't let it end before it even begins. Hearing commotion outside, I thought the executioners must have come, and readied myself to escape.
So you're still alive? Guess not even these fairies were that stupid.
Hector, what are you doing here? What happened to you?
What, this? Don't worry about it. I had to beat a few fairies up to get here. But never mind that. You've got to go. Here, put this on. It's no helmet, but this hat should help protect your head and hide your face at least. A little, at least. At least a little.
Huh? You mean you're here to help me escape? Oh, this hat's so cute and stylish. I knew you had good taste, Hector.
Stow the compliments. Here, I got this back for you. It was always yours anyways.
It was a staff selection that had been taken from me when I was a child. 9 years had gone by since I last saw it, but it still felt like an extension of my body. Though sadly, it looked like it had long since lost Merlin's flippant voice.
Go on now, hurry. It won't be long before Woodrose's executioners.
Hector?
Don't call me by that name. It will only bring you bad luck. I took out the guards, but there will be new ones here soon. We need to get you out of here while it's still dark. Run as far and as fast as you can, if you can make it to Salisbury's Plains. What was that? It's coming from outside.
At the time, I could only imagine that the executioners had come and set the village on fire.
I can't believe it. I knew they said they would have to cut down the number of mouths to feed for winter. But killing each other over it? That's not just stupid. It's downright pitiful. What's going on here? Where are the fairies who called us killing each other? Who's in charge here? Where's the Child of Prophecy? Please stand back, Lord Woodrose. These fairies have all gone mad. We can't question them now. What would you have us do, sir? Urgh, damn bloodthirsty fools. Baton wielders, exterminate the residents. Spear wielders, guard the exits. We can't let any of them escape now. Don't bother putting out the fires until the fairies have been dealt with. But make sure to capture any fairies who could be the Child of Prophecy alive. Her Majesty's orders.
No! I didn't have any particular plan. Heck, I didn't even have time to think. But just as I was about to make a run for the town square to try and rescue everyone...
Stop, Altria! You'll never make it in time. You need to get away from here, now! Besides, why would you want to help them? They were going to sell you anyway.
I know, but... they're still the fairies I'd grown up with. They may have lied to me almost non-stop for my entire life, but that didn't mean I could just abandon them.
You fool. Just come with me, damn it. They're here for the Child of Prophecy. Once you're gone,
There won't be a reason for the executioners to be here anymore. Once we reach the cover of the forest, you can do whatever you want.
Grandpa took my hand and ran.
There we are. We can go the rest of the way alone. You can go the rest of the way alone. I find some Weavers and soldiers on the way, so it won't be long before more show up. You need to get away from here before they do.
What about you, Grandpa? I don't suppose you could come with me?
No, I can't. I still have work left to do. Once I'm sure you've escaped, I'll be heading right back to my fort on the Cape, and that'll be that. You've been nothing but trouble, girl. Don't visit me again.
But Hector, you're... I couldn't help it. I could see his kind-hearted lies. I could see the deep wounds on to his sides, though he'd hidden with his clothes. I could see how his strong back had practically been cut to ribbons. And I could see that his failing heart would stop entirely once I took my eyes off him.
Right. You fairies of paradise really are a pain, aren't you? The village is done for. The executioners are here. Hold your head high. Grip your staff tight. Now's the time to begin your journey, Altria. Remember, no matter what anyone says, even if you don't believe it yourself, you are the child of prophecy. You could have killed me that night, but you didn't. That's who you really are. No matter how much Bray rejects you, or how much the fairies shun you, or even how much weaker you are than them, you're still a better choice for savior than anyone else. I don't think you even realize this yourself, but you're just not capable of getting angry for your own sake. And besides, you're a spitting image of her. The stubborn, sore loser who keeps getting back up, no matter how many times he falls. That's why I know you'll see your chosen path through to the end.
No, I want to go back to the forge and live with you at the Cape. That'd be way more fun. Besides, once I turn 17, the prophecy won't be true anymore, and I won't make any more trouble for you. But that dream would never come true. He never even heard what I wanted to say. I don't know who Grandpa was, or why he did so much for me. All I know is the heartbeat I can still hear today. The sound of my own, still living heart. Right. That's right. The one thing I have going for me is my ability to quickly cheer up, no matter how many times I'm brought down. I secured my new hat atop my head and gripped the staff of selection tight. Goodbye, everyone. Thank you for raising me until I turned 16. I'm the Fairy of Paradise. I'm the one who's meant to bring Britain the salvation it really needs. I'm going to begin my pilgrimage now, just like you wanted me to. But that was easier said than done. Forget about beginning my pilgrimage. I couldn't even get anyone to take me seriously. I tried to meet with the head of the Wind Clan in Salisbury, but the rebel army turned me away at the door. I tried doing a few odd jobs in response to the demands that proved I was a child of prophecy, but...
Which hole of the woods did you crawl out of? Your clothes are a mess and you got almost no magical energy. But at least you're a decent worker. Nice job taking care of the Moors on the highway. I don't know how many centuries it'll take you, but hey, good luck saving Britain. We don't need the child of prophecy here anyway, girlie. We have Lady Aurora looking out for us. But the fairies are waiting for the child of prophecy. Don't let them fool you. They're just pretending. Fairies latch on to anything that seems like fun or even just whatever's trendy. Nobody actually wants or believes in the child prophecy. We'd all love it if Morgan went away, but her aside, we're happy with the way things are now.
After being laughed off, I used my anger as fuel to take me from west to east and back again. Fooling myself into thinking that starting with smaller villages would yield better results than big cities. I went around the forest visiting all kinds of places. But it was no different. Everywhere I went, people laughed at me, used me, and dropped me like so much garbage. On the surface, they were all for the child of prophecy, but on the inside, isn't there something more fun to do? Now I see. They all love rumors about the child of prophecy, but the actual child is just a big pain. I had no one to teach me, and no companions to commiserate with. Every fairy in Britain hated me the second they laid eyes on me. Since humans had no loves for fairies either, all I could do was travel alone. This is hard. Really hard. Consumed by depression, I decided to go to the nameless woods. I didn't have a particular plan in mind. I just wanted to be someone other than myself, even if only for a little while. But the curse of the nameless woods didn't even affect fairies from paradise. So much for that. So I just pretended to have lost my memories and went off to the newcomer tent to sulk. But then, a new fairy was carried in. Mash? He had lost his memory and was in such bad shape both physically and mentally that I felt like I had to help him. But most of all, I thought, if he's forgotten about the child of prophecy, maybe there's a chance we could be friends. That's the end of my summer memories.
Now the mystery becomes, is this next fight a single battle or a multi-battle? Or no battle? That'd be nice.
This is it. We're finally to the spring memories. And since they're spring, I'm sure they're going to be lots of fun. I bet any obstacles we run into here will be total pushovers, so you won't have to worry much about taking them down. And there she goes. I was hoping we wouldn't have to fight any more of those mowers. Me too. If those really are Ultra's memories given physical form, then I can only imagine how painful they must be for her. Even just facing them as Moors makes me feel like my heart's being gouged out of my chest.
Don't worry. That's all done with now that we're past summer. Spring memories are fun times, and fun times only. The only kind of obstacles I expect to see here are things like, there'll probably be Altria herself, dressed to the nines, or an enormous feast full of delicious foods. That's all well and good, but before we start fighting, there's one thing I want to clear up. You said that the Fairy of Paradise who rings all the bells of pilgrimage becomes the sacred sword itself, right? Does that mean Ultra is going to disappear once it's done? Yes, that's right. Creating the sacred sword conceptual foundation will destroy everything she is.
She was, is, and ever will be. That is the Fairy Paradis's duty, her function, and even then, the sacred sword won't be easy to forge. Everything about her, every experience she's had, all her memories, even spirit origin, her very fate, will be used as material to make it. It is not a sacrifice. It is an equivalent exchange. And it has to be her. It can't be anyone else. Does Altria know this? Oh yes, she knows very well that fulfilling her duty means the end of her, for her. That much should have been made clear to her from the beginning. I know how you all feel, but please understand, this really is the only way. She knew what would happen when she entered the spirit cavern. Yes, the situation may have forced her hand, but she's still heading to the site of selection of her own free will. Huh? You're all here? Altria?
Wait, you're back already? That doesn't seem right.
Yeah, we still haven't fought any. I see. Well, that was easy, huh? It was literally over before I knew it. So, that's the site selection on top of that hill, huh? Okay. One last one there, and a rotten egg. I can't believe it. All those horrible memories. And even at the end, she...
I know. It just ain't right. But you know, Bear Draco, if nothing else, I'm glad you're so damn pissed off about it. So look, whatever happens next, just let the old man here handle it.
Muramasa? What do you mean by...
Never mind that now. Come on, we need to run, or she really will go on ahead of us. Either way, this is the end of her long journey. Let's see how this mission of her plays out. Last node, no battle.
Almost at tea. Whenever I close my eyes, this is where I'd be. Whenever I sleep, this is where I'd be. No, that's wrong. It's a lie. Whether my eyes are open or closed, whether I'm asleep or awake, this is how the world has always looked at me. The wind, the clouds, they're not really a storm. They're all people's voices. It's so awful to look at that I've put out my own eyes. It's so horrible to hear that I've plugged up my ears. But it didn't matter. Nothing banished the darkness or made the wind stop howling. This is the tainted land where I need to fulfill my duty as the Fairy of Paradise. I can't do this. I just can't. I can't do this. But no one would listen, no matter how loud I screamed. Besides, the wind was blowing so fiercely, I couldn't even hear myself. After everything I experienced in the village, and getting to know the more fairies better, the storm only intensified. I have no idea which direction I should go, or what I should even look for. I know how this sounds, but Queen Morgan was honestly kind of lucky. She wanted to make Britain into her own kingdom. It was thanks to that powerful, envy-inspiring goal of hers that she navigated the storm without losing her way. But I don't have anything like that. Not one single thing. I hate Britain. I hate fairies. I hate humans. So how could I ever see a way through the storm? No, that's not right. I could see a way. It was shown to me when I rang the bells of pilgrimage. Altria Pendragon, King of Britain. When I heard that she was my proper human history self, I thought I was going to slow up. The ideal knight, a king who lived her whole life for others, and sacrificed all she had for Britain's future. I don't want to end up like her. I could never live a life like that. But to create the sacred sword is to also determine her fate. Without the sacred sword, her life would be different. Without the sacred sword, Britain would come to a different end. Forget this. I should just give up. Yeah, that's it. After all, I'm the only one who can save her. That's why I had thought to myself each and every time I heard the bells ring. But I can still see that star. I don't know what that star is. I do know it's not my dream, my goal, or something I cared about. But it's always been there, ever since I was born. It may have grown small and weak at times, but it was always there, no matter how intense the storm got. I don't know where I want to go. I don't care about my duty. I just want to forget all this child of prophecy stuff. So why? I never stopped moving forward. I don't want to give up. I couldn't let this storm beat me. I don't get it. Why am I so obstinate? What is it that's stopping me from throwing my life away? At the Fairly of Paradise, I didn't have a spring. I didn't have much of anything. That's why I, at least, wanted to know why I couldn't just give up. I'm no queen. I'm no savior. So what brought an ordinary nobody like me so far? What did that tiny star mean for an ordinary girl like me? Is this the site of selection? The forge meant to make the sacred sword?
That's right. That thing in the middle there is the furnace, the center of the universe. That's where the Fairy of Paradise is meant to go. All you have to do is stand there, and the sacred sword will come into being. And not just for this lost belt either. It will also finally bestow you with the sacred sword, the one whose concept was wiped clean from your world. And it won't just be something a heroic spirit temporarily reproduces. It will be a weapon capable of defeating an invader from a foreign world for the humans of this time period.
Does that mean doing this will save Baron Draco and Mash's world?
It will make the impossible possible. They will go from having no chance to having a small chance.
It will? Well, that's all the more reason to do this. Britain will go back to the way it used to be, and it will save the outside world too. What more could we ask for? But it'll also mean... Hey, what's wrong? You both look almost sick. What is it? Do you need to rest up outside? It's okay if you do. It probably won't take long anyway. It's not that.
Yes, that's right. Creating the Sacred Sword's conceptual foundation will destroy everything she was, is, and ever will be.
Come on, Ultra. This is nuts. You don't have to do this. Don't be silly, Baron Draco. You're the one who praised me for not running away. Okay, here goes. Oh, since I won't have another chance to say this, I need to get something off my chest. I hated every minute of my life. Everything about it. Humans, fairies, Britain, my duty, everything. Fighting is terrifying. Hatred is exhausting. I would have been so much happier just living a normal life. But I knew how much saying that would disappoint everyone, so I had to act like a good, dutiful child of prophecy. And that made our journey together a balancing act for me, a hard one. Every time I thought, well, I somehow hung on this time, but I'm sure I'll give up next time. Honestly, no one's more shocked than me that I made it this far. Forging the Sacred Sword means erasing Fairy Britain from existence. I'll never really love fairies or humans, but I could always see the wish they held in their hearts. Every one of the fairies were suffering inside. They all wished for salvation. Even if they're sinners, even if they're just getting what they deserve, I can't believe they brought this on themselves. Because, hey, we're all the same. Lies of omission and outright deception are just parts of life. And even under all those lies, everyone truly wished to be saved. I swear, I really wish they cut that kind of stuff out. It was really hard, walking this Avalon path. Sometimes, I just wanted to shout, "Can't someone cut me some freaking slack?" But looking back now, I'm glad. I'm glad my life wasn't all bad, after all. Oh. Until now, standing here, I didn't think there was a way I, of other people, could save this world. That someone like me could be allowed... that someone like me could never be allowed to end their world. I mean, it's not fair to decide a world's fate when you don't even like the world, right? Right. But you're still going to do it anyway, huh? Yeah, I am. I'm going to fulfill my duty here. And the craziest thing is, I don't even know why. It's probably for some silly, selfish reason. Something no one else could ever understand. You know, I bet it's the same sort of thing that kept you going in the Garden of Lost Will, Draco. And the same kind of thing that made you stand firm in the face of calamity in Norwich, Mash. I'm not doing this for anyone else. I'm doing this for me. I'm not even doing it because it's right. I think I've been making my way through this storm because there's something I just can't turn my back on. My fingertips dissolved first. I can feel the contours of my entire body fading away. My memories will probably go after this, then my sense of self. The planet's inner sea isn't stripping away all of my memories at once. Just like one's just as good as yet another. To make the sacred sword, it has to go through them carefully, so it could understand humanity in the present day. I was only ever a means to learn about them, so it could shape a better, more powerful sacred sword. Good. This should make me into a good sword. A sword bright like the star I saw in that storm. The planet's light that won't ever fade in the face of wicked. A sword that isn't me, from a place that isn't here. A sword bearing the wishes of the masses and hope for their happiness. A sword who can hold their head high at the sight of selection and become the saber fit to stay by your side. Oh, I'm so glad. As Casta, the fairy of paradise, I may not have had spring memories. But as Altria, as myself, I have such wonderful memories of my journey. My body's gone now. By creating the sacred sword, I'll finally fulfill my duty as the fairy of paradise, the Avalon La Fae. My journey as caster will come to an end. And that's okay. I didn't come this far because I was afraid to die. Still, I wish I could have found out what that light was. The light I've seen all my life. The light that's seen me all my life. Wanting to know what it was, and being determined not to give up until I found out, is what kept me going all this time. I thought I'd find out somewhere on my pilgrimage, but I never did. That's the one regret.
Yeah? Can't end things just yet then, can you?
Huh? What are you doing here?
What do you mean, what I'm doing here? Who the hell else is gonna forge this sword? My whole life's been about making blades and cutting through destiny and karma. I'm Senji goddamn Muramasa! Go on, move aside. You brought the iron, now let the swordsmith do his job. Oh ho! So this is the planet's inner sea, and the universe's furnace, huh? Oh boy, just getting close is enough to burn you. Now that's what I'm talking about! This right here? This is a job worth doing. Thanks, Altria. Guarding you wasn't a bad gig, but this is much more my kind of work. If I got a say in it, I'll take a searing forge over escort duty any day of the week.
No, you can't. Thank you so much, but you can't do this. It'll burn you to ash.
Fine by me! Swordsmiths were born to pound iron. If I can do that in the God's own domain, that's worth burning my life away. Besides, a smithy's supposed to be hot, so I ain't gonna stop pounding for nothing. Not even if my whole spirit origin burns up. There we go. It's come along nicely. Basic shape's all set. Now we've just gotta temper it.
No, stop! You can't. Huh? Ah! I'm floating. Why am I floating?
Oh, that's cause I took over here. You're probably getting booted out so you don't get in the way. Alright, child of prophecy. See you around. Got more iron than I needed for this sword, so don't need to use it all. Especially if you still got something left to do. I could use this power for the final finishing touch, but I want you to take it for yourself. In exchange, I'm gonna use this to finish the job. Since you bought my life, seems only right that I pay you back with it, right?
Don't be ridiculous. You've more than paid me back for that. Besides, you're from the outside world, and you're Baron Draco's enemy. You don't have any connection to Britain. Don't you have another job you need to do?
True, I don't know I don't know how I'm gonna. True. I don't know how I'm gonna face the foreign god now. But hey, now I'll probably never see her again anyway. Don't worry about it. I'm doing this because it's what I want. Just like you. This was always my destiny. That said, I'm sorry I never got to make you that beret.
The light went out. Her spirit origin signal is gone. Altria, I know the sacred sword had to be made, but they really have to be... I know, right? They had to be able to come up with a better way. It's just so inefficient, not to mention inhumane. But I guess it's probably too much to ask for a planet's soul. That's basically what the NRC is, to think humanely. Sorry to keep you waiting, Barrel Draco, Mash. This is the essence of the sacred sword. Go on, take it. I'm sure Da Vinci and the other people at Chaldea will be able to use this as a base for a powerful offensive spell. I wish I could have given you Excalibur itself, but I'm afraid things didn't work out that way.
Hold up. What's going on? You mean, how did she come back? I'm as surprised as you are. I really thought the Forge would just be turning out a new Excalibur, specifically for Chaldea's use. Hang on. Where's the ginger? I see. So there was someone who gave her a tiny reprieve.
Can't believe the old man is... gone. Now I see. It wasn't Altria's spirit origin that disappeared. It was actually Muramasa.
He always did refuse to compromise on his work.
Yes, the heroic spirit Senji Muramasa sacrificed himself for what he believed in. The only reason I'm standing here now is because he insisted on performing the finishing touches himself. Now that the Sacred Sword has been delivered to the planet's inner sea, the premise behind this lost belt has been overturned. In time, it will be gently pruned away, as though it never existed. But before that happens, there's something you need to do. Fairy Britain, the lost world made by the treacherous Morgan, is not part of this lost belt. As such, the calamity it created is not subject to the pruning theoretical phenomenon. It represents a threat to humanity that you must defeat yourselves. There's something different about you now, but I'm glad you're safe and sound. Welcome back, Altria. Thanks, Sparrow Jacko. I'm back at the custodian of the Sacred Sword, and stronger than ever.
True. No matter how you slice it, you've definitely powered up. And wait, that Magecraft theory. Instead of hero creation, you've got Sacred Sword creation? No fair. How'd you get a skill like that? Are you out to steal my thunder or something? Yes.
It's okay, Altria. Just ignore him. It's too bad Foe isn't here right now.
Alright. I know we both have different roles to play, so I'll take this as a win and move on. The heroic spirit protected her, and she still lives as a the heroic spirit protected her, and she still lives as a result. This too is fate. The sacred sword has been forged, and this is the moment a planet is born.
The Child of Prophecy fulfilled her duty, aided by the foreign mage. So now it's my turn to help. I'm going to do a small-scale restoration on Britain to the way it was before things turned completely hopeless. Specifically, I'm going to turn back the clock on Tyrannos. At least a little bit.
Turn back the clock? You mean before he appeared?
That's right. Once Tyrannos showed up and covers the land in his curse, not even the Sacred Sword's protection will be enough for you to win. So I'm going to have him go back in time by, let's say 2 hours. See, I suspected something like this might happen, so I've kept the entire pit in a dream. Once I have Tyrannos wake up, it'll be as though the events of that dream, that is, everything that took place over the last 2 hours, never happened. You did something similar in Urk, didn't you? Indeed. It's been pretty boring waiting around here ever since I was free from the garden, so I spent some time casting a spell in the pit. My spirit origin is practically falling apart now as a result, but oh well. Suffice to say, once I disengage my dream zone, I'll probably disappear along with it. I wish I could stick around and see how your battle goes, but sadly it doesn't look like that's going to happen. But don't worry about me. Even I felt bad about... But don't worry about me. Even I felt bad about basically demanding Ultria be the only one to sacrifice everything. Sure, things didn't turn out exactly as I planned, but hey, that's why we build in margins of error. For my last trick, I'll even help you out by sending you straight to the storm border, without having to go back through the Spirit Cavern. When you get there, it'll be 1 hour before Tyrannos shows up, and you'll have another hour after that before his curse spreads everywhere. That gives you 2 hours to sell this, but this time, you should at least have a fighting chance. Murmasa and I both gave everything we had for this. All you have to do now is the best you can. Isn't that right, Nameless King? Can I ask you to watch over Baron Draco and match for me?
Of course. You take care too, Major Flowers. After all, this is just a shadow of Avalon, so I'm sure the real you is still imprisoned in that tower.
Saw right through that too, did you? Yeah, you're definitely the Sacred Sword's guardian now. Alright. Then back to dying. Alright. Then back to dying Britain with you, you all. Once you overcome this lit skies, you will find clear blue ahead. Good. I got them back safely. I'm glad I made it before I ran out of time. Oh, though I just remembered, I forgot to ask something. I've been following the Chaldean Stargater's journey with my clairvoyance as much as possible. And Baron Draco talked to himself a lot more than usual this time. I wonder what that was all about. Wait, what? Was Oberon never real? Another interlude! Alright, I'm gonna call it there for now because I am getting hungry. So, oh man. So we lost Miramasa, Merlin can't help us anymore, and fairies still suck. And I guess I understand why Foe didn't want to come out to the British Lost Belt. Because as the Beast of Hate, or wherever, he would be overwhelmed immediately by all the fairies' sins and kill everyone the moment we arrived. Is how I'm understanding that? So yeah. Thank you, Foe, for not killing everyone. So let's continue on with interlude number 4 next time. So until then, thank you everyone who joined me today, and I will see you all next time. Bye-bye!